Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another video here on Loud and Proud. I just want to start out by saying, holy smokes, this truck looks so good. And we also, if you didn't see the video from the other day of the first gen here, it's a few videos back now, we did install a pusher system on the truck, and the thing, I don't know what it was, maybe that just topped off the rest of the pusher stuff that we had in there, and it just made it more alive. But that thing ran so much different, and it ran amazing when we took it down the road. And so definitely go check out that video. It was a lot of fun to make, and we had a really good time. Now for a couple updates here on the second gen here. If you guys did not see the video from the other day, I did get the new wheels and tires installed on the truck. That day was kind of a long drag because of some issues with, you know, being a teenager. My checking account, it wouldn't let me spend more than $500, so I had to call Wells Fargo and have them up the amount and all this other stuff. So it was just kind of a pain in the butt, and then the truck was having some issues, which is what we're going to get into here. And it was just kind of, it made like a day that was supposed to be super fun and enjoyable for me not quite as fun and enjoyable. I'm just now starting to enjoy it since that day is over, now that I'm not having all these issues in front of all these people. That was so embarrassing because I go to, you know, I go out to start my truck that morning. The truck's never had an issue starting, mind you, and I go out to start it and it just cranks and cranks and cranks and cranks and cranks. Like the starter's running, but nothing's happening. This truck would not cough. I mean, it was not bell smoke, nothing. Like, it was not doing anything. Like, the starter was running, but nothing was happening. This truck was not getting, like, any fuel supply or anything. So, I mean, it was just, I just felt like, I just had a gut-wrenching feeling. I was just like, oh my gosh, like, have an appointment at 8 a.m. and I'm out here at, you know, 7:30 and my truck is not starting. Are you kidding me? Like, I've had this plan for so long and now it's got to act up. So, anyways, guys, so I try to figure it out. I cleaned off my battery terminals and got all the gunk off of there, and I thought, okay, cool, this is probably the issue. Just can't get a good connection to the, you know, fuel shut-off solenoid, and that's why it's not working. Well, I go to clean it all off, and it must have just been luck because I cleaned off my battery terminals, and then the truck fires right up immediately like it always has. And I was like, oh, sweet, that's all it was. You know, it was just a little, you know, like, I thought it was going to be something major, but it just ended up being a dumb little thing like that, little hiccup that I just had to clean up. And it was all good, and I was like feeling awesome on my way up to the shop, and I pull up to the wrong shop, and I turn off my truck, and I go in, talk to the guys, and they're like, oh yeah, you're at the wrong one. I mean, you must have called here, but we transferred your number over to our aftermarket wheel and tire shop, which is, you know, just around the corner. So I was like, okay, cool. Get out to start up my truck, and the thing wouldn't start again. Cranking and cranking and cranking, and it would not fire up. I could not figure out what was going on. All I knew was something I had read in many forums has something to do with the fuel shutoff solenoid. So I was like, it's freaking something to do with that. So I crank over the truck a little bit more, and then it just, you know, tried again, and it finally fired up. I was like, okay, so I got it fired up now. I just got to get it to the place. Not going to turn it off, just going to let them take it back in and then get the tires and wheels on and get it out of the bay, and, you know, everything is good. So I take it there, they put it in the bay, they get the wheels and tires put on, got the old ones taken off, which are in the bed of my truck right now, just the wheels, not the tires, in case you're interested. But anyways, and then they say that they couldn't get the truck started in the bay after the wheels and tires to go do the alignment. So they go to do the alignment, and they're like, we had to try like 5-6 different times to turn the truck over to finally get it to fire up. And like, it finally did, but, you know, it took 5-6 tries. I was like, I don't understand, you know, what's going on. So that ended up being a pain in the butt. Just kind of embarrassing to you, you know, because I'm going in there like, yeah, I mean, this is my truck, the thing runs perfect, and then, you know, you go in there in that day, and the truck's like having all kinds of issues in front of all these people, and everybody's got to get their trucks worked on. We get a line of people waiting, and I'm just like, I just felt like crap. I'm like, you know what, just push my truck out of the bay. I'll try to fix it out there in the parking lot. Like, whatever, like, there's no sense in taking up your guys, wasting your guys' time here sitting in the shop. So we kind of just pushed it out there, and of course I'm there with a Dodge all broke down out there in the parking lot because, you know, because of stupid solenoid. So anyways, I'm sitting out there in the parking lot, I'm on Google looking around trying to figure it out, and everybody said, oh, it's your fuel shut-off solenoid. Well, to a guy that knows diesels, yeah, that might just be a super simple thing. Oh yeah, the fuel shut-off solenoid, I know exactly where that is, I know exactly how to resolve this issue. I had no idea. All I knew was fuel shut-off solenoid. So I'm just looking around, filling around, trying to figure out where in the heck the thing is. Finally figure out where it's at, and I find this little lever, and I just push up on it, and I'm like, okay, there's a little lever that pushes up under this little thing, and you know, it connects to, you know, down kind of like where your throttle cable is in that area, on the driver's side. And I'm kind of messing around with it, and I'm actually going to pop the hood here so you can see what I'm talking about. Anyways, so I go to mess around with this thing. I'm like, okay, so now I just got to figure out some way to keep that thing from, you know, going down. I needed it to be held up so I can start the truck. So here's the solenoid right there, if you guys can see that. And then straight underneath here where I have the string attached currently, it's kind of jimmy rig it in case it does it again. Basically, if that lever down there is not propped up to go and start the truck, I mean, when you go to turn the key, basically your truck's not going to want to, I mean, it's not going to start. It's going to just, you know, your key's just going to run and run and run and run and run. Your key's just going to run, and the starter's going to run, but it's not going to let the truck fire up. So I ended up figuring that out, trying to clamp it together with, you know, what do you call those things? I was trying to clamp it together with vice grips and everything else. I mean, I was trying to, everything I could, sitting out here in this parking lot looking like an idiot, trying to figure out how to keep that clamp together. And I would have felt terrible asking, you know, guys to come out of the shop where they're getting paid to work and they need to keep up with their schedule to keep their employer happy, you know, to come help me work on my truck. You know what I mean? So I was out of the way, and I was just like, you know, I just got to do it myself. I'm not going to ask everybody to come out here and assist me. They got to live their life. They got to do their job. And so, you know, it's not, I don't really have any say in really asking for help in that situation on their hour. So basically, I found a piece of string in there, I mean, out of luck, from a GoPro mount that I have, because got to do those little coal rolling videos here and there. So I have a little GoPro mount in there for doing coal rolling videos, and I have the string so I could tie it to my fancy little, you know, bed mounts here, which everybody tells me, you know, what in the heck are those? What are they? I've answered so many times, and I've had people answer for me, so I really appreciate that. They're tie downs, which is pretty easy to figure out. It's a little bracket with a hole through it. It's a tie down for an in-bed camper that the first owner used to have, and that's all it is. So he could tie it down on the side. So anyways, guys, I tried that, and I tied the string around this lever down there, and then what I did was I hooked the string around the lever down there, and I wrapped it up around this side. It's slack right now, but I wrapped it up around the other side here. And basically, I have to go down there, I have to reach down there. What I had to do is reach down, pull up the lever, and I had just barely enough slack to hook the string on here so it would hold that lever up. And basically what that then allowed me to do was it allowed me to have that lever held up, so I had enough time to go in and start the truck. Then after this truck was running, I just took the string off, and it didn't act up at all after that. Like, I just took the string off, let it sit down, they'll just let the lever settle down where I guess it was supposed to be, and it ran fine, didn't have an issue. And so I was just like, okay, I got the truck started, let me go pay for this thing, and I'm gonna be out of your guys' hair. Like, I'm just gonna get out because I'm so embarrassed right now. So I didn't say that, but I was feeling like this, I just feel like so embarrassed because, you know, because of all the issues my truck's having and all the problems basically that was going on with me while I was there to get this all done. Anyway, so I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna leave the truck running, I'm not gonna turn it off, and I'm gonna make this a quick thing. I'm gonna go in, pay the guys for their work, pay them for their time, and then I'm gonna get out of there. So I go in there, and I kind of already explained this in the beginning. I go in there to go and get stuff paid for, and what do you know? My check card wouldn't go through because I'm a teenager and I had a limit of $500 per day. And the lady's like, well, you can ask them if they're just gonna be willing to go charge your card $500 a day for the next, 4 or 5 days, whatever. And I was like, I'm not gonna, next 4 days. And I'm like, I'm not gonna have them do that. I'm like, I'm sure they want their money now. Like, it's one of those deals. Like, I'm not gonna just be like, oh yeah, I'll only pay you $500 for the next however many days. Because, I mean, I would do it. I would do it for sure. But I'm just saying, like, some people is kind of like, we weren't planning on this. We were planning on you just paying us today. Like, we're trying to run a business. We got people to pay and everything else. Like, we just, you know what I mean? I mean, they didn't say that, but I'm just trying to look at it through their perspective of what they would feel about that. So I told the lady, I said, I need to figure out how to get my amount raised, you know, to what I paid for these wheels and tires right now. Like, I'm like, I can't be messing around with this kind of crap. And then she's like, okay, well, you know, just going through all this, beating around the bush, like taking forever about asking these questions. And I was like, I just need to know, what do I have to do to get this amount raised enough so I can pay for these wheels and tires? Because I'm like, I'm not going to come back here, you know, and pay them 5 times or have them run my card 5 days in a row, or just tell them that's the best I can do. I'm like, they need to get paid today. So I've called up Wells Fargo. Then I called the main big branch of Wells Fargo, like the hub of Wells Fargo, the 1-800 number to their, you know, main place, a facility, I guess. And you know, basically they were like, oh, okay. And then, I mean, they were nice, but they were just really beating around the bush, and it was taking forever, and I was getting really annoyed. And you know how there are automated, you know, voice calls and all this other crap trying to get through to get to a real person to actually answer your questions, because a computer cannot relate to a human being. I don't care who you are, it just doesn't work. Okay, so finally got a hold of them, and they're like, well, you have to have your mother call in because you're underage, and she's probably, you know, she's my parent, obviously, so she has the saying in whether or not you're allowed to raise that amount. I'm like, she does not care. But I'm like, okay, I'll try to have her call you. I'm like, you guys better pick up the phone so we can get this taken care of. And so basically I had my mom call in, and she's like, yes, up the amount, you know, to whatever the amount was. Basically they finally she called back, my mom called back, and she's like, okay, I got him to raise the amount so you can actually pay for it. And so I was like, oh, thank goodness. So I finally got it up, and I was able to pay for it, and all said and done. So pain in the butt yesterday, because I mean, it was so frustrating. And then after about an hour being on the phone, I finally walked in and I said, finally, I can pay for it. Here's my card, charge it, and I'm gonna get out of your way. So I got it paid for, and I just left. And after that, I felt super good. I mean, the truck ran awesome on the road. The alignment just made a insane difference. Having tread on the tires made an insane difference. I mean, it was crazy how smooth this thing went down the road compared to what it did before. So now that that's all done, yeah, so basically that sucked yesterday. So I just wanted to get that off my chest, and I just kind of wanted to show you guys, like, it wasn't just all, you know, sunshine and lollipops like it made it seem yesterday in the video, where I was just kind of like, yeah, I pulled in, and then 30 seconds later I'm out of the shop with my new wheels and tires. Like, that is not at all how it went. And it was pretty freaking, I mean, it was just a dreadful day. And then it was supposed to be a good fun day, and it just was not. It was just not happening like that. So that's just, I mean, that seems to be the way it goes sometimes, but man, that was something else. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna try to get higher quality line for now to get this hooked up to my fuel shutoff solenoid, because right now I have that little cheap, like, baler twine crap, and I'm gonna get some paracord. And I know what you guys are probably thinking right now, what in the heck are you doing? Just pitch up the money, go buy a fuel shutoff solenoid, do it right. You know what, right now, I don't really care. I don't really have any money for that type of thing. Like, I really don't have any money right now, let alone $250 to spend on something like that. Whatever money I do have right now has to go towards my next insurance bill, and yeah, that's got to get covered by like the end of this week. So gonna have to do for now, and probably for a long time, paracord. And when I get my next check from YouTube, I just don't want to spend, you know, that big chunk of it on something like that. But I'm just going to try to make it work. So basically what I'm going to be doing right now is I'm just going to take a higher quality piece of rope, you know, paracord, and for the time being at least, this is not going to be a permanent solution, so don't everybody get fired up and shooting me to death down in the comments below. This is just going to be a temporary fix, because I'm not worried about this rope burning up right here. There's a fan right there, and it blows right down the side of the motor, and this stays really cool right here in this area, you know, off the engine block. So I'm not too worried about it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another loop that goes around that lever down there. That's going to be able to pull that lever up. So, like, let's say if it does it again, I'm out in a parking lot and I got to get home. All I got to do is pop the hood, flop that string around here, hook it up, and I'm good to go. And I know some guys, like I said, there's going to be guys down there that don't really understand my financial situation, and they're going to be like, just spend the money, don't do that. But right now I can't afford to do that, so this is what I'm going to do. So it doesn't matter how many opinions I have down there, how many rude comments, it's not going to change the fact that right now I just don't have money, and so I can't spend it on, you know, something like this. there it is. I have the temporary solution in case my truck happens to take a crap on me when I'm out on the road. All I got to do is take this paracord off, flip it around the other side of this air horn here, and pull it tight, and then hook it over there, and that'll hold that little lever up to start up the truck. You know, if it happens to take a crap on me, like I said. But I don't intend on using it as the go-to solution for this problem. I just right now, like I said, don't have the money. It was just really aggravating. I thought I owed it to you guys to actually let you know what the problem was and what I actually did to give it at least a temporary solution. So that's what I did, and that's what's gonna have to work for now. And this is where these wheels are going to sit unless somebody else claims them. So hit me up if you guys are interested in the wheels. If you're local, you can come pick them up. But I really, to be honest, I really don't want to ship them out very far. But if you are in the northeast Indiana area, hit me up if you're interested in these wheels. They will fit on a Cummins. Pretty much that's about it. They won't fit on a Ford. They won't fit on a Duramax. They won't fit on a 1500. As far as I know, but they will fit on a Dodge Cummins. Wheels out of my truck and all of the old parts from it that I've taken off so far. Some shocks, strut towers, shackle, fuel tank straps, all that crap that's rusted in half that needed to be off of there and replaced. So my bed now only has the tools that I need to take back to our other property, which I'm going to do very soon here. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I'm sorry it wasn't like, you know, some elaborate video like I try to make most of the time. I don't know how it ends up every time and what you guys think about it, but I at least try my best to make quality videos. And I know this wasn't like one of those crazy events that's like, holy crap, that was awesome. But it's definitely something I wanted to share with you guys just so you kind of had a better understanding, I guess, of what I was talking about the other day when I said my wheels and tires, you know, thing, and then my truck was acting funny and all. I just wanted to kind of explain that better so it could answer some of your guys' questions, because I'm going to have a lot of comments in the video from yesterday trying to go through everything and figure out what I was talking about, and this is going to answer that for the most part. Basically, that lever has to be lifted up for the truck to start, and you know, that's what I had to do to fix it. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys still at least enjoyed that video. Hopefully maybe it helped somebody out there that had that similar issue with their truck. If it did, that's awesome. I'm glad it helped somebody out and somebody got some use out of it. But for the rest of you guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and you're going to stick around even though this wasn't like a crazy good video. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate every single one of you guys. We're getting close to 11,000 subscribers here, so that is awesome. And I just want to say, like I said, thank you. Leave a like on the video, leave a comment below, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.